What would make this fair for her to compete, for those who are competing against her? What would that kind of structure in competition look like?
I want to hear what she got to say.
Who is her?
AB.
He.
Okay, AB Hernandez is a male who identifies as a female.
What's going to YouTube? It's your boy Too Tough One, man. Today we got a very controversial topic. I cannot lie. Should transgender athletes, male transgender athletes, compete against women? Now, I ain't gonna cap, man. This topic is really getting outdated. It's getting old. I don't understand how they're having such a hard time to understand what's right from wrong. Hit that like button, subscribe button. We're finna dive straight into the video. It's finna get real.
The World Boxing Organization just announced it will mandate genetic sex testing of all competitors. The group says it's part of a new policy to determine the eligibility of male and female athletes and designed to ensure, quote, the safety of all participants and deliver a competitive level playing field. World Boxing also sent a letter to the Algerian Boxing Federation stating that Olympic gold medalist Iman Khalif must undergo a genetic sex screening if she wants to compete in the female category at an event next month in the Netherlands or any other competition that it sanctions. The uproar over transgender athletes competing in girls' youth sports is clouding the weekend state track and field championships in California. Protesters there are expected to rally against AB Hernandez, a transgender high school student who will compete after winning the girls' long jump and triple jump. Her advance to the championship meet and the public backlash that it's prompted has led state high school sports officials to change the rules. They will now allow additional athletes to qualify for the state meet if they'd been bumped out of a spot by a transgender girl. The controversy even led President Donald Trump to threaten to withhold federal funding from California for allowing her to compete. Let's take you now live to Clovis, California, where the meet is set to take place with CNN's Julia Vargas. So, Julia, what can we expect from today's competition?
Well, Boris, it's going to be an interesting award ceremony if AB places in any of the 3 events that she's qualified to compete in. Not only will those extra slots be added for the cisgender students that don't make it, they will also have extra medals, basically duplicate medals for the student that would
Hold
have
on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
had she not been there. The Federation will also give the medal, they say, to a biological female student athlete who would have earned the specific placement on the podium. They will also be awarded a medal for that place. Now, California has allowed transgender student athletes in the high school level to participate in the gender that they identify with since 2013. But now the Justice Department is taking a look, investigating that law to see if it is a violation of Title IX, the federal law that bans sex-based discrimination for schools that receive any kind of federal funding. Governor Gavin Newsom said that these changes that the Federation has made, they are already a reasonable compromise, even though we know that in March, he did say that the participation of trans girls in sports is raising an issue of fairness. And that concern, it is echoed by parents, especially here in the Clovis area, where we heard from an organization called the California Family Council.
I can't lie, y'all. It is shocking to me that we even having this conversation on a debate if transgender athletes should be competing with girls. That is insane. Imagine your daughter want to be a boxer and, you know, she thinking she's finna fight another girl and they bring in this dude that's pretending to be a girl and then they really acting like bro didn't beat Mike Tyson or something. Like he beating up on females. Listen, y'all, listen. I ran track and field my whole life. Look, 4A. You know what I'm saying? 4A. Do you see this? You know what I'm saying? We got second in the mile relay. Texas. Feel me? And we won the whole meet. Went to school at Gilmer High School. No cap. A dog. I'm telling you this right now. No girl was messing with me. No girl was messing with me in high school, track and field. 400, 800 meter, mile, 2 mile. Lace the spikes up. I'm dogging each one of them out. They getting cooked. They getting destroyed. There's a reason why they got men's and they got women's division. And I'm not saying this to be offensive, but the women will never be able to compete with the men ever. ever in any sport. No sports. Why you think there's no female NFL athletes? Never. It would get hurt, mess around and get killed out there, man. So the fact that we even having this argument and the fact that people are actually, there's people out there that's against this is absurd. It's insane. Comment down below what y'all think.
Are a conservative organization. They say that basically these new policies, they don't go far enough and that they are ignoring the, quote, fundamental biological differences between men and women. Take a listen.
Today, I call on CIF to do the right thing. Updates 1 and 2 were not enough. But the third time can be the charm. Remove biological boys from girls' sports
Yes.
and restore the integrity of our girls' divisions.
Yes. Yes.
Now, A.B. Hernandez and her mother have both defended repeatedly her ability to be here. They said that she identifies as a girl and that she also needs protection, just like these other teen girls. They spoke at different meetings of the school board trying to defend that. Now, we are expecting some protesters to come here today, Boris, and as we go forward in the championship and the finals tomorrow, it's only expected to be more heated.
And I have nothing against transgenders. I have nothing against it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Whatever you pick and choose to be in life, I do not care whatsoever. I don't care if you claim to be a dog. Okay? I don't care if you claim to be a donkey, a roach. If I identify as a roach, oh well, so be it. I'm a roach. Okay? But when it comes to sports, let's just think realistically here. When it comes to sports, you can't have no dude pretending to be a girl and going out there in track and field and boxing. It doesn't make any sense. That's the stupidest thing I ever seen. And I feel like this will end it all. Give the transgenders their own category. If you're a transgender, compete in the transgender Olympics. You feel me? Transgender boxing, transgender basketball. Y'all all can go over there and go crazy and go transgender crazy. Why you want to come over here and compete against the girls? That's dumb. Go against other transgenders. Wouldn't that make the most sense? Or am I tripping? Comment down below. Am I tripping, y'all? Or am I making sense? Cause this is insane.
Julia Vargas Jones, live for us in Clovis. Thank you so much for the update. Brianna?
And joining us now is attorney Julie Hamill, who is the president and founder of the California Justice Center. Her group opposes transgender athletes competing in girls' youth sports. Julie, thanks for being with us. What do you think of the rule change in this specific case?
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate CNN bringing me on to talk about this issue. And I want to be clear that my position isn't that I oppose any athletes. I want to see Title IX, which was enshrined in law in 1970s in the United States of America, in order to give equal opportunity to women.
That's a whole dude. Like you can't convince me, bro.
Women and girls in educational programs. I want to see that law enforced. And many federal district courts in our country have already held that this principle that gender identity can be used in place of sex is in direct conflict with the clear language of Title IX. So what CIF has done with these new revisions to their policies, it might mitigate damages that these female athletes otherwise would have had by being ousted by a male who is competing in a girls' competition. But what it doesn't do is get at the root of the problem. The root of the problem in California is AB 1266, which became Law Education Code Section 221.5F back in 2013. That law requires school districts to allow students to compete in the athletics and use the facilities that align with their gender identity instead of their sex. That is the root of the problem. That needs to be rescinded, and the state of California needs to stop enforcing that law if we are going to abide by Title IX. If California doesn't want to do that, fine, but they need to stop accepting federal funds. That's a condition. You have to comply with federal law to accept federal funds.
What would make this fair for her to compete for those who are competing against her? What would that kind of structure in competition look
I want to
like?
hear what she got to say.
Who is her?
AB.
He.
Okay, AB Hernandez is a male who identifies as a female. What would be fair is to have Hernandez competing in the male category. It is not fair
Yes.
to the females competing to have to compete with a
A
male.
male. Yeah, it's simple.
Okay, so in Trump's
And how is this so hard? I mean, you have these people on these high status positions that went to college and so claim to be educated and well thorough and very outspoken, but they can't grasp the fact that this is a male going against females. It's so simple. Like I said, I ran track and field for almost 6.5 years. If I claim, put it like this, if I claim to be a female and I put a wig on and I say I'm not running with the boys anymore and I'm going to run against the girls, I'm dog walking any girl that's on that track. They're getting destroyed. There's no comp. I'm dogging them. Ain't nothing. I'm dogging them. I'm winning every race I'm in. And then they got it for boxing too. I put a wig on my head and say I'm a girl. That girl finna get the beating of her lifetime. I'm not even a boxer. She finna get cranked. No cap. It's like Mike Tyson putting a wig on and saying he a girl. Boy, he gonna be knocking them out like dominoes, man. Boom, bam, boom. Boom, bam, boom. Boom, bam, boom. They gonna stop fighting on God.
federal funding threat. Is that something, though, that would hurt all student athletes, including athletes who are assigned female at birth?
Would his federal funding threat hurt athletes?
If the money is taken away.
Right. So the law actually says that schools that do not abide Title IX or other federal laws cannot receive federal funds. So that's not Trump's fault. The problem is that the state with AB 1266.
But you understand,
and
Julie,
Code
there's two views here on Title IX. So just to be clear, not everyone agrees with you on how you're viewing it. So in that regard, if you were to take away the funding on as it pertains to trans athletes, not everyone agrees with you. I think we just have to be clear about that. If you are taking away the funds for athletes, student athletes in California, isn't that going to hurt all of them?
Taking away federal funds is going to hurt all California kids, which is why the state of California needs to comply with federal law. It's very simple.
So when you dig into the science on trans athletes, what is really clear is that there needs to be a lot more research on a lot more.
Research on what? Somebody get her off. Somebody kick her off the show. Unless she trolling me. Research. You got male, you got female. Girls don't need to compete with the boys, and the boys don't need to compete with the girls. If I am a male and then I so claim to happen to say I identify as a girl and now I'm gonna go compete against the girls, I'm destroying the women's sports. I'm like, it's simple. This is not rocket science. This is not physics. Am I tripping? Comment down below if this is hard for y'all to understand. Be for real.
More trans athletes to be able to draw better conclusions about the effect of whether gender affirming care actually reduces or eliminates the advantage conferred on an athlete who is genetically male. Would you welcome more research? Is this a situation where more research might help?
I absolutely think that more research and more careful and thoughtful discussion is necessary here. Pediatric sex change procedures are very harmful and they cause lifelong damage to children. And this is something that the United States of America needs to examine thoughtfully, and people need to be able to discuss openly without being called bigots and transphobes.
Yeah, totally hear you. So there are obviously clear benefits to playing sports, to competing in sports. So when you're looking at an athlete like AB Hernandez, what would you have her do? so that she can benefit from sporting?
Run with the boys.
I view AB Hernandez as the victim in this situation. I feel for him, and I feel that he has been lied to for his entire life, and it's probably very destabilizing and difficult for him right now to realize that what he's been told is not actually reality. He cannot become a girl. What he
Correct.
can do is compete in the
Julie,
male
can we stick to
category.
Okay,
or
let's
if
stick to
CIF
sports. So you say compete in the male category or what?
But that's the problem. Why is she saying sticks to sports? This is the problem. That's the root of the problem. A man cannot become a woman. It don't work like that. Even if you genetically modify, bro. Look at him. He still look like a dude. That's a dude. Now he might have feminine characteristics. You feel me? But at the end of the day, that's a dude. So the way that he can benefit from sports, if he's still running around, we ain't saying he gotta stop competing. But there's a reason why he want to compete with the girls, because if you get in that track and field with them dudes, it get real. You gonna get humbled. Everybody wants a handout. Everybody wants to win. But in real life, you got winners, you got losers. Man, I worked my butt off. For 4 years to get this medal. Then we won the state track meet. You know how many times I done took an L? You know how many times I had to wake up and run 5-6 miles at 5 a.m. in the morning? You know how many times I had to hit that weight room, bro? I wasn't crying. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take a loss before you can get a dub. So I feel like that's just off the bat. It's a lot of people that's out here weak minded. Everybody just wanna be a winner. He ain't trying to win for real. That's the reason why he don't want to go run with the men, because it's different. There's levels to it. He trying to go run with the girls. Man, get out of here. Look, that's why they ain't got me on there. I would have been. They would have had to turn the camera footage off. I would have had to cut. I would have had that sucker turned up, fool. Oh my soul.
Or if the state and CIF want to create a separate category for people like AB Hernandez, and that's something that they want to do, fine. It is not fair to female athletes who have worked their entire lives for this kind of competition, who also, by the way, cannot speak out for fear of retaliation,
Facts.
which AB Hernandez's mother has personally threatened against them. So it's very unfair for our girls and women in California to have to compete with males, have to share facilities with males, and then not be able to speak up about the unfairness because people are going to label them as bigots.
And that's all facts. That's all facts. That's nothing but facts. And there's a reason why they trying to go compete with the girls. Because us as fellas, we gonna speak our mind. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't really care. We gonna speak our mind. But at the end of the day, though, let's say, like I said, let's say if I was back in high school and I was going against a trans athlete, wouldn't matter. Cause I already know you already too weak, bro. You already want to transition into a girl and run with the girls because you don't want to come and go to war with us. It's different. Like, it's different. Ain't no handouts over here, man. Everybody who done got a state medal, straight pain and hard work. That's it. Straight pain and hard work. I took L's for 3 years straight. And then finally broke through my senior year. So the fact that we having this conversation is almost pure ignorance. I cannot cap. This is easy. Subscribe and comment down below what y'all think, man. It's your boy 2 1. I'm gone.